everyone. This is Andrew Berman. We are here bringing you Originator Tech Deep Dive. And listen, I got to say, one of my favorite deep dives has been getting inside of, AngelAi. I'm learning about new stuff that we're able to do with, AngelAi. And, guiding us through this is going to be Pavan and Angel are going to be guiding us. Also joining us, we got a special guest who's going to be signing on soon, Gary Acosta, who's the founder of NAHREP. NAHREP, yeah. Yeah. So, and he's also just an unbelievable leader in actually real estate. I think Realtor magazine labeled him like top 25 most influential people in real estate. He's like 101 most influential Latinos. But he's on the front lines. Like, he knows what is going on out there. He knows what the market wants, and just the data is showing actually that the opportunity to help Latinos grow home ownership is just huge. They're already growing in greater numbers than any other cohorts. So without further ado, Angel, Pavan, take it away.
Yes. Oh, there's Gary.
Oh,
Yay.
hey, Gary. What's going on?
Hey, guys.
Gary is like running a huge organization, 60,000 plus realtors, and they got an amazing event coming up. So we're very thankful for Gary to take out the time for this today and to spread some wisdom and education to his friends in the mortgage and banking industry. And everybody wants to know, how do we tap into this massive Hispanic market? How do we convince realtors to send us our business? And that's why you've all tuned in, because Gary's got his pulse on realtors, he's got a pulse on the market. And this audience is mostly loan originators. You're at the right place. If you want to 10x your business, Gary's the man to listen to. So let's talk a little bit about Gary. Gary, tell us about your background, where you grew up, and what was your early life, and then how did you end up starting NAHREP?
Oh, hey, Pavan, thank you. I actually was born in SoCal. I grew up in LA. I went to high school in Los Angeles. I went to college at Pomona College in Southern California. My claim to fame, at least to my son and my father, is that I played college basketball for Greg Popovich, who is, you may know, the winningest coach in NBA history. But I kind of stumbled into the banking industry. One of the first jobs that I got outside of college was working for a community bank. And I started working in the operations side. I learned underwriting. I became a junior underwriter first. But I happened to notice at the bank, everybody that was having fun was on the mortgage side. So I tried to figure, how do I get to that side of the bank? I eventually did. I learned the business from that standpoint. And then a few years afterwards, decided to kind of test my own sort of merit in terms of starting my own mortgage company. I started as a broker. I did that for a few years. And then I crossed paths with somebody that turned out to be a friend and a mentor by the name of Ernie Reyes. He and I would do business together. He was a real estate broker. I was a mortgage broker. And from a series of conversations, we decided to launch NAHREP back in 2000. So that was 25 years ago this year.
Wow, what a story. And now NAHREP has grown from when you started it. Did you have any idea it'd be this big?
Well, I had no capacity or no ability to think beyond maybe a year or two. So, of course, I never thought that it would become, a 60,000 person organization with 100 local chapters and really the largest Latino business organization in the country. I had no way to anticipate that, but I knew that there was going to be a demand for it, Pavan. I knew just from, my anecdotal experience that there was pent-up demand out there that was being underserviced, and that we were onto something that was going to lead to something special.
Yeah. And for all the loan officers and mortgage brokers listening to this, I want you to understand that Gary, that this 60,000 realtors that work with Gary, right? They really listen to him, they look up to him because he's such an inspirational leader. And I think a lot of loan officers are out there thinking, how do I get in front of more realtors? How do I meet them? How do I get to know them, right? Because after COVID, you don't just walk into a real estate office anymore. They're not there anymore. So please get involved with NAHREP and get to know Gary and listen to Gary, because he is your gateway, because all of these realtors, they listen to Gary. He has a tremendous amount of influence on them. NAHREP has a tremendous amount of influence. And if you're not a member of NAHREP, you really should think about doing that now. And if you haven't already registered for the NAHREP San Diego, there's going to be, 5,000 realtors in San Diego?
Yes, we're expecting that. And Pavan, I appreciate you saying that. It's a very nice way to characterize it. The way I kind of put it is that NAHREP is a very sticky organization. The members of the association don't have a casual relationship with NAHREP. It is truly part of their professional identity. So therefore, it does give us a great opportunity to share information with them, to provide positive influence, and to galvanize the group in a really constructive way. So it is one of the few organizational platforms out there where there's a real opportunity to create the type of relationships that are so valuable in our industry. And NAHREP tries to make that as easy as possible for real estate professionals. And you don't have to be Hispanic, by the way, to join the association. You just have to have a recognition and a desire to tap into the fastest growing segment in the industry.
Yeah. Can you highlight one of two or three of the main things that NAHREP has done, the culture of NAHREP, why it's so sticky, and why everyone who's a member of NAHREP benefits so much?
I think that it does kind of attach to the culture of the Hispanic community, which is very family driven, very relationship driven, and very trust driven. If you are a marketer or an expert in marketing and you look at the Latino sector or segment, you would probably know that Latino consumers respond to companies that address their interests in trust. Trust is the biggest decision-making factor in any purchase decision that Latinos make. So when you add all that together, and then you look at the way the organization sort of combines this celebration of culture with business opportunity, you will get a sense of the energy that's created from that, and the reason why people want to be a part of the association, and why in this market that has been challenging for so many companies and so many individual agents, NAHREP is actually thriving and bucking that trend and growing in this environment.
Yes, exactly. And quite frankly, I can't think of any other single event where loan officers, it's only a few $100s to attend NAHREP National, and loan officers can go to one place and network with 5,000 plus realtors. And Gary doesn't mind you doing that. He wants you to come and do that. That's the whole reason he does this. So
Absolutely.
Think about, for all the loan officers listening, to touch 5,000 realtors, think about how many open houses you have to visit every weekend to do that. That's a lifetime's of work you could get done in a couple of days.
Well put.
So here's some stats about Hispanic households for some of you listening, thinking, why is this important? This right here, it doesn't get any clearer than that. 68 million people in America are Hispanic. 20% of the US population. The median age, this is amazing, median age is 31. Right? And 51% Hispanic home ownership. Right? So it's gonna in overall home ownership 65%. So there's a big growth here. Right. So there's another 15% we need to fill in here.
And you talk about the age factor, Pavan, as being such a maybe lesser understood metric within the Hispanic space. A lot of that lower home ownership rate is due to the fact that Latinos are just younger than the overall population. If you look at another data point that suggests that up to 70% of net new homeowners over the next 20 years will be Latino, the primary reason for that is because Latinos are just entering those prime home buying years. So these numbers are not going to change anytime soon. If anything, they're going to go up.
Yes. And so Gary's right. right? And that there's all these young people that are getting ready to buy a home. So we're going to see a massive explosion there. This is probably the fastest growing part of the U.S. housing sector right here. So if you're not paying attention to this, I'm so glad you've attended this deep dive, because it's time to wake up and say, hey, there's something big happening here. It's no longer a minority kind of fringe niche. This is mainstream. This is going to drive the housing market.
By the way, I just want to add this, like, just for some context. So 31 median age, here. I'm just looking at a report that we just released on NMP. The average age of a homeowner in the United States, across all cohorts, is 50 years old, 50.75.
Correct. And that's a good point, because the average age of across all cohorts 50 years old, and the median age of non-Hispanic Americans is something like 56. Okay, so that's the other product you guys should get involved in, is reverse mortgages, because that's in a couple of years, that's the number one product.
Go where the growth is, right, Pavan?
Exactly, right. The two parts of the population that's growing the fastest: seniors on one side and Hispanics on new homeownership.
That's right.
So Gary made a great point about trust. Hispanics, it's all about trust. It's all about a nurturing family environment. And most loan originators, you're not out there selling loans, right? You're not selling your bank. You're selling trust. And a realtor or a home buyer will work with you, not necessarily because you have the best rate, but because they trust that they can trust their life savings to you. That when you give them an approval, when you say, yeah, don't worry, make that offer because we'll close that deal, they want to know that you'll actually deliver on your promise. Okay, and that's where AngelAi comes in, is because all of its answers are warranted. So if AngelAi says this loan's approved, there's no going back on that. Right? It will fund. Okay, and the other thing that's great about AngelAi is that it's multilingual. Obviously it speaks Spanish, and the support team behind AngelAi, all the customer service support team, they're all in Puerto Rico, and they're all bilingual. And in fact, because we're really deep into the Hispanic market, because AngelAi was actually developed and engineered in Puerto Rico. And right now, I'm actually doing this call right now from my house in Puerto Rico. So and certainty closes deals, right? So if you're not certain, if you're a loan officer and you're not certain, and someone asks you a question off left field and you don't know the answer, right? So what do you do right now? Right now, you call your underwriter, you call your head of ops, and you might wait a couple of hours, might wait a day or two to get an answer. If this is particularly tricky, twisted, scenario, where this is where AI comes in, because AI has the built-in knowledge of tens of thousands of experts. It's all in there. And I don't know, Gary, if you've seen the recent reports about ChatGPT diagnosing MRI images better than an expert radiologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yes. So it's, that's the thing, because when you go to that expert radiologist, one radiologist, just one radiologist, whereas the AI has got tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of radiologists. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with AngelAi. It's not just one loan officer. It's not just one underwriter. It's tens of thousands of underwriters and loan officers over 45 years of experience. Right. And this is where the partnership with Gary is so valuable to us, because Gary's here. His heart is there to help and support the community. And it was a great conversation, by the way, Gary, we had in DC about Bitcoin and crypto. But the point there is that, you made a really important statement, which is Hispanics are often thought about as being behind in technology, right? And that's not true. Can you explain that again?
Yeah, so it was a great conversation that we had, and we talked a little bit about the notion that Latinos are slow in adopting new technologies. And I shared the perception or perspective that a lot of that information or that point of view came during the internet, when the internet became a thing, and you needed a laptop computer or a desktop computer. You needed access to broadband. You needed the financial resources to pay for all those things. But the truth is that Latinos are actually a much younger demographic, And if you look at when things transition to wireless technology, mobile technology, Latinos are actually now out indexing the overall population when it comes to utilizing that technology, social media, and so forth. And of course, our hope is that AI will also present an opportunity for Latinos in this country, not just to close gaps, but perhaps even leapfrog other segments of the population by adopting AI at a much quicker pace than the overall population, and utilizing that for everything from wealth building to buying homes to career opportunities moving forward.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. The language barrier was one of the previous, during the
That's
internet
right.
boom. It was, everything was in English. Setting up your computer, doing this, doing that, it's all in English. So that became a barrier for Latinos to enter into that technology wave. But with AI, there's no more language barrier because it's by default multilingual. So again, another reason that if you're not already thinking about the Hispanic market, if you're not already thinking about how do I incorporate AI into my business process, language is perhaps the number one reason. And I can tell you a recent story about a realtor who didn't speak Spanish and was losing Hispanic clients. And what he does now is he takes his clients and connects them into AngelAi. And so he talks to them through AngelAi. And so he speaks in English, AngelAi speaks in Spanish to the client, and he's getting his deals done. So he's using AngelAi as a real-time translator for him. And along the way, it's also not just a real-time translator, but it's also a real-time real estate and mortgage expert, right? And so going back to the whole, full circle, the whole theme of giving back to the community and supporting the community and supporting Hispanics, right? AngelAi is free. It's a freely accessible tool, especially for realtors. We really want to support the community. And so realtors now, you have the power to go in and tap into this product and have instant answers for even the most complex questions that you could imagine. And not only that, but what we're going to talk about, you can also have your own twin and your own twin vault. So not only all of the 45 years of mortgage and real estate knowledge that's in there, plus all of your proprietary, your special secret sauce that makes you the #1 community leader, right? You can put into your personal vault, right? Not give it away to Meta or Microsoft or Google, but in your own personal vault on blockchain, and use that to communicate with your customers, and knowing that your competitors or a big tech company cannot take that knowledge away from you and steal your market from you. One of the things I described at the DC conference is how Gary has a reach of 60,000 realtors, right? And if you think about what makes realtors special, is they are amazing community builders, amazing community networkers. That's like, it's just an incredible skill, and the amount of energy and effort realtors do to build their community and their very close tight network around them, and especially in the Hispanic market where relationships and families is so important and is such a deep part of the culture. Okay, so if you really think about it, if you just said at minimum, one realtor has a tight network of 100 people or 1,000 people, right? And Gary's network, Gary's close tight with 60,000 realtors. So that's 60 million people Gary has immediate influence over. That's the 60 million people that NAHREP has influence over, right? And what we want to do is we want to make sure that that network, that knowledge, that community around each realtor stays with each realtor. We want them to be empowered. We don't want that knowledge to be sucked up into a big tech company so that they then can take over those communities. Just like, Amazon put local community drugstores, local community main street, main grocery stores and stuff out of business, right? We don't want to see that happening in the real estate and the mortgage business. And the way to prevent that is to have your own twin, your own vault, and keep your data to yourself. So, and it's catching on. And thanks to support from NAHREP and other friends, we have accelerating growth. So this is an exponential curve, parabolic curve. 230,000, I think. I think after this month, after September, is going to be like over 250,000 users added to the platform. And we're talking about north of 15,000 new users being added to the platform in a single month, right? So imagine the tremendous reach that we have. And most of those users that are added are realtors and loan officers. So we're essentially the fastest growing real estate and lending platform in the country. Yet we're not a real estate organization. We're not a mortgage organization. We're a tech organization providing a service to realtors and loan officers. And by providing a high value service, so that when you're in front of your client, right, you're always empowered with the best and latest information. Just like Google gives you information, but it doesn't verify it. AngelAi gives you information that's completely verified and you can trust it. So just a little stats on the journey and how we got here. It's over 20 years of development that's gone into it. We went full production in 2019. And since 2019, we've put over 195,000 loans through the platform, and that's $58 billion of mortgage transactions have gone through it, and over $500 million, $500 million essentially has been invested, cash invested into building this platform. We have 11 patents awarded. That was up from 7. So the last 4 months, we've got another 4 patents. And we have 105 plus patents filed, pending approval. And of course, all of our answers, people love our answers because they're trusted. And that means when you use Angel and you give answers, or your twin gives answers to your customers can trust it. So can you talk a little bit, Gary, about how the Hispanic culture, how is it that trust is such a vital part of it?
Well, I think it's it goes back to our culture, our commitment to family, the fact that in Latin America, trust is such an important and vital asset, because it hasn't always been there per se amongst the institutions. So Latinos in this country value those relationships, value that trust dynamic that exists out there, or potentially exists out there from service providers. So I've always said it to companies that have asked me, how important is price? How important is brand? Latinos are very brand loyal historically. And of course, everybody wants the best price. But if I had to rank them, those would still be behind trust. They want to do business with somebody who has their best interests in mind and conveys that to them in a seamless manner. And that's just a cultural thing. And it's the most important thing that marketers need to understand about the Hispanic consumer in the US.
Yeah. So what American brands, and it could be in real estate, it could be not in real estate, do you think do a really good job of conveying that trust and connecting with the Hispanic community, and why?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think that, I look at some of the marketing out there, and some of it makes me cringe, to be perfectly honest, Pavan, because it's stereotypical and it touches on the superficial. I look at an ad campaign like Modelo Beer, for example, and that's a little bit of an outlier. But if you watch the way they've communicated to their consumer base, who is largely Latino, and they do it in a much more inclusive manner. In other words, Latinos don't necessarily want to see themselves segmented outside of the mainstream. They want to see themselves as part of the mainstream. And they've done an incredibly good job of articulating that through their ad campaign. Check it out sometime. By the way, Modelo Beer, which wasn't even a top 10 beer 5 years ago, is now #1 in the United States in sales. And I think that that's not necessarily independent of the way that they've been able to connect to the Hispanic community. And there's a handful of other brands that have done that well. I think sports brands tend to do that well. Also, a little bit better than some of the other companies that are out there. But those are just a couple of examples.
And what are some mistakes that you see realtors making when trying to connect to the Hispanic community, those who are, get new into this market?
I think that they focus a little too much on the superficial. It's interesting that you talked about language, right? And language being a barrier. It has been historically. The data and the research that we do at the association tells us that 25% of deals that involve a Hispanic home buyer are done entirely in Spanish. So obviously language is still important, but it doesn't stop there. I think the way you have to approach the Hispanic market is from a business needs standpoint, not just from a superficial standpoint. So if you look a little bit deeper, you look one layer down, you'll understand a couple of things. For example, Latinos are twice as likely to be self-employed or to own a small business as the overall population. So you have to understand that from a product standpoint going into the game. So you got to have the types of products that address that particular gap well. A high percentage of Latino home buyers are first-time home buyers. A lot of first-time home buyers, the biggest challenge is down payment, and they have wealth gaps and so forth. So you got to be good at the types of products that serve as low down payment type mortgages. Those are just a couple of examples, right? The way you need to approach the Hispanic market, first of all, is you have to assess the business needs. And then secondly, start to figure out how to make personal connections through the staff that you hire, through the way that you present yourself from a marketing standpoint. Combination of those two things, and you have a gold rush of opportunity in front of you. Because the one thing about a customer that prioritizes trust is that, Pavan, when you treat them well and they have a good experience with you, not only will they be a loyal customer for life, they will tell everybody they know that they need to do business with you. And that's what we all want as entrepreneurs and business professionals.
Great advice. Great advice.
Hey, Gary, I'm just curious. If some originators are, maybe they don't have anyone in their organization that is Hispanic, what are the things that they could do in their organization? I mean, obviously hiring, Hispanic originators seems like a thing that would be a natural thing to do, but what are other things that they could do in their organization to make it so they're better optimized to work with the Hispanic community?
I mean, I think, well, first of all, Pavan touched on a couple of them, and I'm not unbiased in this regard. NAHREP is a great resource for those types of companies because you have an opportunity to engage directly with real estate professionals who can be obviously sources of business, but you also start to acclimate yourself with the cultural rhythms of the community that can also result in other business opportunities. The one thing that I would say, if I were going to hire strategically to reach this market, that may be a little bit counterintuitive, Andrew, and that is I would start with operations, not necessarily with sales. Again, kind of addressing those business needs first. If you have processors, you have underwriters that understand some of those cultural nuances, then you're going to have a better chance, first of all, to recruit the types of agents that you're looking to recruit and retain those agents. And a lot of companies just get that sequence wrong. Start with operations, and then sales will come.
Okay, that's great guidance right there. I believe September 18th through the 21st at your annual conference. Will you have sessions to kind of give the attendees, say, okay, listen, do you want to actually start to work with the Hispanic marketplace? Here's what you need to know. Or is the event kind of geared more towards those who are already in the know and already have experience in working in the Latino marketplace?
Well, the content at the conference is largely directed to the rank and file attendees. So these are real estate agents that are looking for an edge, but they're also looking for tools. And some of those tools are the types of tools that Pavan has been talking about here today. So I think that to kind of characterize what to expect at the event, you'll interface with a lot of people that are already servicing this market, but who are looking for ways to expand that market share, to improve their access to that space. And as you know, the market is dynamic. It is, changing on a real-time basis, and I think probably with more speed than we've ever seen before. So you're going to see a lot of new stuff. We're going to be talking a lot about technology and AI at the event this year and the impact that that's going to have in the marketplace. So I think there's going to be a little bit of something, not to be cliche, but a little bit of something for everybody.
Right.
And you got some huge stars coming there, right? Like, I'll let you speak about the stars because you got a sports
Yeah,
track as well.
we got a sports track, and so we have, Oscar De La Hoya. We have Ron Rivera, who's the NFL head coach. We have several athletes. We have 5 gold medal winners. We have several silver medal winners. We have the 2 ladies that are basically running all marketing for the World Cup that's coming up next year. So a lot of really interesting content from a sports standpoint, but also many business leaders that are going to be there, coming from all different segments of the economy. It's really a who's who of business leaders, and it's very eclectic. The primary audience at the conference is real estate agents and brokers, but about 40% of the audience actually comes from venture capital and private equity, angel investors, as well as technology and other sectors as well.
That's right. Okay, so unfortunately, when we looked at the fair lending data or the HMDA data that's available nationally, and we compared it up, even though such a large portion of the country is Hispanic, Hispanic borrowers are 1.75 times more likely to be declined than white borrowers, and Black borrowers are twice as likely to be declined than white borrowers. So, given the amazing strides that we've made with AngelAi, with the AI making the decisions, and is that that the U.S. government is we're actually registered as the home of fair lending, and we have delivered near equal across the board. When a borrower works with AngelAi, they get equal approval rates regardless of race. So AngelAi is blind to the race. And there was a recent study done about 8 months ago, 9 months ago, by a professor at Lay University. And this is very, very interesting. And what the professor did was he took 1,000 random loans and put it into ChatGPT with all the information and asked ChatGPT to approve it. And he tried it twice. He ran the same set twice, once with the race data and once without. And when he ran it with the race data, okay, he got a graph that's similar to this. He got, just like the HMDA data shows, that the bar on the left is the HMDA data, and the bar on the right is the AngelAi data. Okay, so he got a graph similar to this. He had Black borrowers. The ChatGPT declined Black borrowers about twice as often as it declined white borrowers, and so on, right? And then when he took the race indicator out and ran the same 1,000 loans through, it resulted in a neutral decision. Okay, so what does that mean? ChatGPT is biased? Does that mean AI is biased, that there's AI is inherently flawed? No, what it means is that AI is trained on past data, right? So the AI knows these trends. It has it in its database, so that's what it's loaded in from. It's got all the HMDA data and everything. So it just took the past trends that, hey, certain races have declined more than other races, and so when it had that data, it applied the past patterns and it declined accordingly. Okay, and it approved accordingly. Okay, so what it means, there has been a bias in the industry, a bias in the process that keeps certain groups of people out of the financial system, right? So AI is actually a cure to this problem, and we have 5+ years of history demonstrating that running AI decisions letting the AI make the decisions, we have delivered near equal performance across all sectors. And hence we're the home of fair lending.
Amazing.
Yeah. I think I got you with some new information today. Something you didn't know yet. That's a hard day to catch Gary with a piece of information that he doesn't know. It's a tough day. Hard thing to do. So I'm proud of myself right now. Gary talked about how important it is to have special products and low down payment and self-employed particularly, which I think is the amazing part of the Hispanic community is that it runs as a family unit. Right? Families work closely together, run a single business together. And I love the fact that Hispanics are heavily self-employed because, we're in the blockchain world and we're talking about decentralization. True decentralization comes when every family is doing their own business and is working as a single unit. And then you have, families aren't split up where one person is going to school, another person's dad's going to one job away from the house, mom's going to another job away from the house, and no one's around to raise the kids. Right. Well, when you're self-employed and your family works collectively together, now you can raise the kids and raise your business and support your family all at the same time. But that does require special products. That does require products that understand those capabilities, that understands that culture. And so AngelAi is able to close deals that others can't, because what we have done is we brought AI into the capital markets as well. So after 2008, there was a couple of crises, as we all know, that happened. 2008, the U.S. credit crisis, and prior to that, it was the Japanese banking crisis, where Japan had their credit moment, and a lot of investors got burned. And as a result, since those multiple crises have happened, hundreds of billions of dollars, literally hundreds of billions of dollars, have been sitting on the sidelines, invested in treasuries or gold or just cash, because they can't trust Wall Street anymore. And so what we have done is, by bringing AI to the capital markets, so we've tapped into this large well of money that's been sitting out there and looking for a honest system that they can rely on. So this system now, investors, people with the money, that's just you and I with a 401k account, essentially. Obviously, these are accredited investors, a little bit more sophisticated, but the idea is that people with money can themselves work with the AI, pick the products that they want their money to go into, okay? And then the AI will originate those products. So we're able to now bring in a large suite of products to the U.S. market, and this is money coming into America from outside of America, which is obviously really important to bring in more money into the dollar onshore, so that interest rates can drop and we can get more liquidity and boost our economy. So this has gone full circle. So at this point, we've secured $1 billion a commitment for capital, and that's growing. It's projected to go to 10 billion in the next 2 years. And it's all because of the AI. The money doesn't have to rely on an investment bank misleading them, or a rating agency telling them something is AAA, but it's not really AAA, because it's just a bunch of bad loans that they stack together. Right? We've all seen the Jenga scene from The Big Short, right? They're all scared of that. They don't want that anymore. So they rather know what mortgage that their money is going into. The only way to do that in a large scale, efficient way is when there's an AI in the middle. So look out for a bunch of new products that AngelAi is going to be delivering to the entire market, that would be especially beneficial for Hispanics. So we, for realtors and loan originators listening to this right now, we offer a lot of great tools that help you grow your business, and most, if not all of this, is free. So between credit repair, what we call credit repair, credit boost, which I think is the most popular tool that we offer. That means anybody can go into AngelAi, and for essentially the cost of the soft pull, okay, you can have AngelAi fix your credit. And that's a big deal, because it doesn't create a dispute on your credit report. So there's no disputed credit report, so your DU and LP still runs fine. What AngelAi does is it starts communicating back and forth, negotiating. The AI starts negotiating with your merchant directly, sending letters and phone calls and all this kind of stuff. And it doesn't stop. It'll keep nonstop responding to them, so that until they either give up, right, or they miss a deadline. Because you know the way this stuff works, if they miss a deadline, they have to drop it. Right. So we've had tremendous success with this product, and you just get people started. It takes literally a couple of minutes to get going. You get people started on it, and we usually see significant credit score increases within 60, 90 days. No guarantees, because it only works if the merchant agrees to drop it, or if the merchant errors and doesn't respond in time, then it gets dropped automatically. So that's the only, but usually if you let this go on long enough, your credit score will go up. Along with that, you get free outbound calling. Telemarketing is built into this, AI-based outbound calling, websites, landing pages, listing boosts, all kinds, event management. If you're a realtor, you can create your listing presentations, your listing presentations. It'll put them up on a website for you, so you can easily share it, and it will also keep track of who if your customer actually looked at it and what slides they spend the most time on. So when you go and talk to listing presentation, if they've already seen it or not. Very, very high professional, expensive. Normally these tools are very expensive, but it is a service that we offer to our real estate community. And of course, my favorite part is the Angel Twin. And Gary, you just got. Did you get your twin delivered yet?
I did. I got to see. It's incredible.
Yeah. So Gary is one of the lucky few that has gotten our twin version 2.0. And many of you watching this probably already have our 1.0, but 2.0 is just mind-blowing technology. And it won't be fully released in main production for a while. But the lucky few key partners like Gary are getting the early access. And when we do what we are going to be announcing at NAHREP is how people attending NAHREP can get early access to Twin 2.0, which is going to be amazing. And what we're doing is we're creating twin influencers by market. So each market segment can have you will get to have an exclusive twin, and you'll be the only one in your market to have your own twin. And so we're going to give the early adopters, the people who jump in quickly, and a chance to have a long runway before anyone else in the market does, and just an amazing differentiator. And essentially, your twin's there 24/7, always on. It's always you, and most importantly, all the information that you give it doesn't go into our database. It goes into your database. It's in your blockchain wallet. And that's what's amazing, so that you stay secure with the knowledge that Google or Microsoft or Meta is not learning about your contacts, is not learning about how your community works. So this is a real world example of how important. Yeah, we talked about how Hispanics are younger, and therefore they're in many ways they're jumping ahead on the AI and the technology train. But AI and twins are so easy to use, is that we have an example of Grandma, who's an AI expert now. She worked with the twin of a loan officer and completed her loan application completely on her own by talking to that twin. And she was so proud of herself, told her family she's an AI expert. This is a recent real case story that just happened about 3 months ago. So age is not a barrier, guys. AI is for everybody. And we're going to give you guys a demonstration of how this works. And this is Twin, by the way, this is Twin 1.0. And we're going to show you 2.0 coming up. But even 1.0 is, Grandma used 1.0 and she had a great time with it.
So this demo, this is actually from the loan officer side, how easy it is to put in an application. But you can, as Pavan was saying, you can share your link with your clients and they can complete the application just as easy by talking to your twin. And we will show the twin example next as well. Okay, here we go. So you're going to see first, she actually asks if you have a Mismo file. So if you have a Mismo file, you can just upload it. Otherwise, if you don't, she's going to ask you the questions to complete the application.
So this is a demonstration without the twin, right?
Correct. But you can see just by, essentially texting back and forth with AngelAi, you can have that application created, and she will take it all the way through to submitting your loan through underwriting. You can upload your documents right here in the chat and get your 100% warranted handwritten decision. And you can do the same thing by providing your link to your customer, and they can complete the application themselves as well. And here you're seeing AI sign, so they even complete their documents here in AngelAi.
Yeah, and that's an important thing. Is one of the things that you get with AngelAi is a full integrated e-sign system. So a lot of people, a lot of realtors are probably paying, $30-$50 a month just for maintaining DocuSign. You could save that money now because you could generate all your purchase contracts and any documents through AngelAi for e-signing.
Yep, and as you can see, so the last few messages here from AngelAi, if it's small on your screen, I'll read them. So AngelAi did go ahead and run AUS, provided the results, and gave a pre-qual letter here. So in the time it took us to just have that brief conversation, this loan officer created an application, ran AUS, submitted it, and got a pre-qual letter right there in the chat. And what you're seeing, of course, is my desktop, but this is available on mobile as well. So you can literally be doing this anywhere.
And what's important here is that's it, folks. That's the complete loan application. It's that simple. Right? And you as a loan officer or as a realtor in there can be joining that conversation just like you do on WhatsApp. You could have a 3-way, 4-way conversation with the customer. You could have the husband and wife and you all in one chat having that conversation. And in a couple of minutes, the whole loan application is completed because the AI just goes out to all the data sources and just does everything behind the scenes. Okay.
Are you ready to show them Twin 2.0?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to introduce them to who they're going to see using?
Oh yes. So this I actually recorded this for Hiron Gracie, the founder of his family founded the UFC, and we did an event with him. What you're seeing here is a genuine reaction of Hiron talking to Twin 2.0, and he's this. You watch, look at his face and see how he reacts to this new technology.
Who's that guy right there behind me?
Who's behind me? I see a man wearing a blue denim jacket and a black baseball cap. He seems to be smiling at the camera.
Yeah, he's a very happy, smiling guy. This is crazy. So it looks exactly. This is Sam. You are Sam. This is Sam.
Watch this. So Sam, I'm a little stressed out about my work right now. What advice do you have for me?
I can see you're stressed about work. Sometimes we just need to shift our perspective. I had a client who was struggling, and after reprogramming his brain, he felt like a new man. He started with affirmations like, I am a powerful person. It really works. What if you try to reframe your thoughts about work? What are your goals, and what's holding you back? Let's explore that together. Also, I always say, successful people always understand the power of questions. Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve? Or how can I make this work for me? It can help you find a way forward. You got this, Ryron.
I love it.
And
Reframe it.
what about jiu-jitsu? What do you think? Is this worthwhile?
Jiu-jitsu? I think it's a great way to challenge yourself physically and mentally. It's not just about the physical aspects. It's also about building discipline and focus. I've seen many people transform their lives through martial arts. It can be really worthwhile if you're looking to push yourself and learn new skills.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he supports jiu-jitsu. So this is always available. Yeah.
Right. So what's really cool there, I don't know if you guys caught it in the beginning, was that it is truly a 2-way conversation. So the AI is actually looking at you through your front-facing camera. So asked the question, who's standing behind me? And it described me it picked up on the denim jacket, the black cap, and so forth. So very cool technology. And so imagine your borrowers walking into an open house and having that conversation with your twin, or on your website having that conversation with your twin. Just imagine what that does in terms of putting you heads and shoulders above all of your competitors. So we talked about NAHREP San Diego. Any last words you want to say, Gary, about why loan originators should come to this event, amazing event?
Pavan, I would say that the Hispanic market opportunity isn't for everyone, just for people that want to be in business in 2 years.
That's a great way to say it.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the opportunity. Incredible stuff that you guys are creating. We're delighted to be partnering with you all, and hopefully, I'll see many of you at the conference.
Yes. And do you want to talk about the new app NAHREP is rolling out?
Yeah, so that's a big move for us. I mean, conferences have had apps for a long time, but our app is going to be much more interactive than anything that we've had in the past, or anything that I've seen out there. We're going to include a lot of the tools that Pavan has been talking about, so that becomes kind of a one-stop shop, not only for the conference, but even beyond that. So when you register for the conference, please make sure and download the app.
Yes. And the big news is that we've integrated AngelAi into the app, so there'll be an
Absolutely.
AngelAi button there. So it's super exciting. Thank you so much, Gary, for that. Also, I think you had shared at one point an interesting stat with me. We were talking about blockchain earlier. How is Hispanics in terms of leading on blockchain?
So blockchain is is the one technology that even 5 years ago, when all of this was just very new to all of us, that was very clear to me was going to become a staple for the economy moving forward. I didn't understand crypto all that well, Pavan. I still don't. There's a lot of applications that these new technologies are utilizing that I think are still yet to see how they're going to play out. But blockchain is definitely going to be with us, and is only going to be with us in a much bigger way moving forward, because everything that we're talking about here today relies on blockchain technology. And so I think, to answer your question, I think real estate, for one, is going to probably disproportionately rely on blockchain technology, and probably even sooner than other sectors of the economy. That's one. And two, for the reasons that you and I have talked about for a while, because language is no longer an issue, because these artificial barriers, whether they're economic or otherwise, are much less prevalent. I think that Latinos are going to adopt to these new technologies, such as blockchain, at a much faster pace than other segments of the population. That's very exciting for us, and we think the opportunities are endless from there.
Yes, and as a result, you were very kind to permit AngelAi to organize the crypto track, the AI and crypto track, for 2 days in parallel at the NAHREP conference. And we got an amazing
That's
lineup.
right.
We had just an amazing lineup of speakers there, some of the greatest minds in tokenization, real estate tokenization, in Bitcoin. Will be there. Policy people who are writing the policy right now with the FTC and with the SEC will be speaking at the conference. So if you're new to crypto, if you're new to trying to understand what crypto and AI can do together, how it's going to impact your business, a lot of people in real estate are thinking like, oh, well, this is maybe 10 years down the line or whatever. No, actually, it is like today. It's happening really fast. Regulations have already been put in place to make dollar stablecoins. The SEC is almost done with tokenizing real estate regulations. So you guys need to come understand this, get involved, because if you don't, you're going to get left behind. I mean, it's changing at an amazing speed. And we hope to, at this event, to share that information, bring that education front and center to you. And I'm going to close off with the last plug, which is AngelAi has a built-in free crypto wallet for you, and you can start owning points, start owning tokens just by using AngelAi and start getting involved into the tokenization and crypto economy.
That's fantastic. That's a great place to start. Wonderful. Well, Gary, thank you so much, for joining us, sharing your insights on how to work, in the Latino market space. I'd wish you good luck on your conference, but I don't think you need it. You got an amazing lineup. I know a lot of friends of mine have gone to this conference, just speak about such a great experience. And if it's something if you're not in the, if you're not in the space right now and you're looking to get into the space, this is a great way to start. And if you're already involved in the lending in the Latino community, you know how important this organization is to support home ownership. So with that in mind, thank you guys very much. Angel, Pavan, always great to get another peek and a little look inside of AngelAi and finding out what other mortgage professionals are doing to help put more borrowers in homes.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it.
We'll see you guys.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.